Okay, so I'm going to start with yesterday after hours. I was watching it, so I was working in the workroom here right next to the computer, and just brought it up out of curiosity. The chart, and it looked like it was in a pretty good spot to be trading. It had made a big drop, and it had made a bounce and then a recovery, pretty decent sized recovery. So I thought, well, I think this is actually a pretty good place and a good setup and place to actually get into a long at this point. So I jumped in here on the ES this time. So we're looking at a stop placed at about $150, just shy of that. See if that would be 50, 100, yeah, just shy of 150. And it's definitely more than a 1 to 2 trade, so right, but then it made a big drop and stopped me out. So the first trade I lost. So then I decided, okay, maybe I was wrong. I think it's going to be dropping down in here as a support here. So I have a really tight stop on 37.50, and I put in a sell order this time and hoping to get 187 back. And it did. So it had a nice big drop all of a sudden. And so basically got me back to where I had started thereabouts. Anyway, real close. All right. And so I thought, well, I think maybe it's going to drop some more. So I put in another sell order. And in hindsight, I should have maybe waited for a little bit of a rise just because it's on a support level here. So yeah, it started to drop, kind of petered out and headed back up again, and then stopped me out. So these are the last 3 trades that I made right through here. And so I just stopped at this point because my rules are, of course, if I have more losses than gains, you stop. And so I did, which meant that I lost $239 with those 3 trades. And when you take out the profit that I made earlier that day of 116, I was at a loss of, let's see, what would that be altogether? I forgot to add that up. But, this is saying without commissions 52.50. So it's not a huge loss, but it is unfortunately even lower than when I started before. So then when we were, I'll look at today's trading. This morning at the breakfast table on my phone, I was looking at the market, and I actually made a trade, which in hindsight I think was actually a decent setup. You can see here that it's kind of doing its zigzaggy thing, and it's near the top, and it looks like it's starting to lose momentum. This is what I was seeing when I made the trade, and it looks like it's tipping over. This is the 1-minute chart. I had already done all my analysis for the longer term charts, and so I got into a short, had a nice big drop. I was very excited. I think it got down at one point around a $60 profit. Of course, I hung on because I really thought it was going to get down to this level right through here. Then it jumped up. I got a little bit worried. Immediately bounced back down. I thought, okay, we're in good shape. This is looking really good. Look at that. And then all of a sudden it jumped up and stopped me out. So that was kind of a surprise, honestly, because I was definitely seeing a loss of momentum here. And you can kind of see it's at least a consolidation area. We'll get out to the bigger chart, the longer term charts, and you can see the bigger picture. It's definitely kind of flat through here, maybe even downtrending. It's been really downtrending overnight. Okay, so let's look at that. You can see it took a big dip. Actually, not overnight so much as just yesterday. It took a big dip. It actually blew through the support level that I suspected it would stop at. And now it's leveled off right through this point, right through here. So we're at a consolidation point. The upper point, I would say, is this red line here, which is the 20 SMA on the 1 hour chart, and I put an alert down here on the bottom. And you can see the MACD is now dropped way down below average, and it's just kind of stagnating right through there. I'm not sure where it's going at the moment, but we may zigzag between these 2 points until it decides where it's going. On the 15-minute chart, you can see it's maybe heading up a little bit. And on the 5-minute chart, the MACD is also heading up. And on the 1-minute chart, you can see it's just starting to lose momentum. So it's like, okay, and this is right at that upper point right through here, where it found a resistance level. So I jumped into a short, but then it started to drop, and I decided to not chase it, but I just left it up there. Sure enough, it came right back up again. So I got into a short here, and I like where my stop is. It's above the SMA level, and it's way above the points that it's hit previously and found resistance. And it's not too much of a dollar amount either. I can't remember what it was set to. Let's see. Each of these is $5, and it's one contract. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, something like $30 loss. And I can't remember. Let's see, that would be about a $50 gain, I think. I think it was a little over $50 gain right through there if it does drop. All right, so this is still the 1-minute chart, but I'm looking at all the overnight hours, and you can definitely see this consolidation area that I was talking about. I put in my volume profile, and the POC is right there in the middle. So I do think there is a very good likelihood that it will be dropping. That doesn't mean that it's going to be dropping further. It's going to probably stay in this consolidation period for a while, just until it blows through it. All right, so I think we're in pretty good shape. I think this is a good probability trade. And I've taken almost all of the dollar amount risk off the table just because I've had such a bad streak of lost days. And I want to make a trade just to be in the game because it makes you pay attention more. But yet I don't want to risk an awful lot of dollar amount just because my track history here has not been very good. And so I'm just going to let it ride and see what happens. Okay, it went up a couple times here as one of them and then dropped back down. Here's another one. And I thought, man, this is just incredibly bullish. It's just, and I suppose if you think about the big drop that it had, of course, a lot of people are going to say that this is a good time to get in to a long because it's a better price to get in, and they might be right. That's maybe where all the bullish sentiment is coming from. To me, I guess it's more, I'm thinking I'm kind of shook up because of the big drop that it had, and I think that it's still kind of settling down, and people are trying to figure out whether this means bigger things or if it's done dropping. So I think there's still a lot of uncertainty in the market. I'm really kind of surprised that there's this much bullish sentiment pushing that back up there that I'm seeing here. All right, so this is an article I thought was kind of pertinent and interesting. They're talking about the drop. It was, to them, they said that's not a huge drop. But to me, it was pretty big. I kind of was expecting it. I think they're kind of predicting, if you kind of read between the lines, I think they're kind of predicting that there's a possibility of it dropping further. But we shall see. Somehow I didn't grab my second trade here. But I did make 2 trades this morning. And the second one, I did 3 contracts. I don't know why I didn't grab that. That's funny. But anyway, I lost $22.50 on the second trade. So now I've got 2 bad trades, and according to my rules, I need to stop. So I am done and closed it all down for the day. And so now I've lost, well, I'm saying I lost $28.80 for today, according to the, let me go back there again, according to that. So anyway, not sure I completely understand all the details of that, but anyway, you can see my balance right through there. Again, my bottom line is $48,000. I don't even want to get close to that. I'm really getting nervous. I have a $2,000 buffer, and I'm almost through one of the thousands. I've only got $330 left of that. So I'm not happy with my trading at all. Trying to figure out from here on out whether, let's see, tomorrow's Friday. Again, I don't know. Usually on a bad week like this, I don't do well on Friday either. One thing I might do is just do some paper trading for a while and try to figure out what the market's doing and build up that confidence in myself a little bit. Might do that today, might do that tomorrow. We'll have to just see. Probably won't be recording that. We'll see. But anyway, that's today's trading. So thanks for joining me.